Recently, I made a video discussing the upcoming Paw fruit coming to Grand Peace Online. However, today I remembered that Paw was actually a part of an earlier vote in the official Grand Peace Online Discord server. This led me to going back and checking the result of this vote. As you'll see on screen, String won the vote. So this begs the question, why is Paw being added but not String? Well, I think a good place to start is when development of the Paw fruit began. There have actually been sneak peeks of the Paw fruit going around for months now, whereas there have been no sneak peeks of String or Venom. We can infer from this that the reason for Paw getting released before Venom or String is because it had already been in development for longer, and thus would take a shorter time to finish compared to the other two. Despite this, some people feel as though their vote simply didn't matter, as the devs chose the fruit that didn't win anyway. So in today's video, I'll be discussing String and how it could be implemented to make up for it not getting added first. As much as I like the Paw fruit, I would definitely prefer to see the String fruit in game. Although String would almost definitely be a legendary and thus hard to get, I still think that in general it would be a more fun fruit to use and to see in game. With that being said, ideally I would like to see both fruits added. String though has a lot of cool mechanics that I want to see in game. For example, the fruit's ability to manipulate other people, using strings to turn a person into effectively the user's marionette. This would be an interesting mechanic to see in game because it could be useful in wars to force players to fight against their own teammates, or in bounty hunting, as you can make players walk off the edge of islands, causing them to drown while still in combat with you. This technique can also be used in combination with String's ultimate birdcage technique to control multiple people at once, possibly translating to being able to control an entire island of players in GPO. However, this would likely drain a lot of stamina, or might not be added due to the fact that it could be hard to implement. Doflamingo, the user of the String fruit in One Piece, has demonstrated the fruit's flexibility in battle on multiple occasions. The String fruit has really strong offensive attacks like 5 color strings, mobility moves like Sky's Path, and powerful defensive techniques like Spider's Web. If this flexibility in battle translated into GPO, then String might be one of the strongest fruits in game when it comes to PvP. Spider's Web could be used to block ultimates and high damage attacks, which would be great for players who do not have Tech Eye. This technique reminds me quite a bit of the barrier fruit in game, however I'm sure that the String Spider's Web defensive technique would be similar but also different in some ways. The fruit also has a flight type move called Sky's Path, which allows the user of the fruit to move through the air by attaching strings to clouds. Although this technique isn't exactly flight, it definitely offers the user a similar experience, as it could be used to travel between islands or to dodge an opponent's attack. The downside is that it would likely be fairly slow, so in this regard it might fall short of a more traditional flight technique like Mera's Flight. Another interesting mechanic of the String fruit that I haven't mentioned yet is its ability to create clones of the user. Now, the String fruit can be used to create clones made entirely out of string. Now, the uses of this technique are pretty endless, as having clones of yourself could be helpful in a number of scenarios. The first use that comes to mind is for creating clones to distract an opponent. For example, if used in arena mode, this technique could be used to bait an opponent out into M1ing a clone, leaving them vulnerable to an attack from a real player. What makes this technique even more scary though, is that these clones are typically very physically strong relative to the user. If this was carried over into GPO, multiple clones that are capable of blocking and fighting back would definitely be a force to be reckoned with. Oh well. That's all I really have to talk about in today's video. If you enjoyed this video, then please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing to my channel. With that out of the way, I hope you guys have a great day, evening, or whatever time it is for you guys, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. Bye guys.